Joining us now, first on CNBC, is Michael Vanazzo, he is Biogen CEO. Congratulations to all of us if this is true. But there is a lot of, I guess, skepticism, and I don't know whether with the analyst community, whether those guys, sometimes skepticism is good when they don't understand, but they're not buying into the new results necessarily. Some are calling it possibly just chance or not statistically proven at this point. Did it really work in reversing Alzheimer's for this additional data that you saw?
So thank you for having me. What it demonstrates again is that the road to breakthrough innovation is full of twist and turn, and it's a process. And here the persistence and the passion and the specialization of the company in that space basically demonstrates that it leads to success eventually. Today we have hope and opportunity for all the patients affected.
Well, let me see whether we can drill down on this. So it's a monoclonal antibody that actually is designed to go after beta amyloid plaques, which are seen in Alzheimer's patients. You're telling me it actually removes the plaques. There was some speculation that maybe that's not, it could be that you get Alzheimer's and the plaques then come about as a result of Alzheimer's, not an actual cause. You're convinced beta amyloid is the key to dealing with Alzheimer's?
More than ever. What we demonstrate is that this CNS penetrant monoclonal antibody whose binding,
central nervous system penetrant,
who's binding to the right part of the amyloid beta, the aggregated form of amyloid beta, is able to erode and eliminate the plaque, leading to the benefits we see in terms of cognition for the patients.
Why did it?
It reduced basically the decline, and we can see effects such as on memory, orientation, language, but also functionally. The ability to take care of oneself.
Not in all the studies you did, though. The
Sorry?
other studies didn't show the efficacy.
Well, because these were different monoclonal antibodies, and
they were.
With other products.
Oh, but I think Joe means one of the phase 3 studies wasn't successful.
Yeah, and there are many reasons for that, and the futility analysis that we did conduct was wrong. This was a mistake. This is what we know now. The importance is that working with the FDA over months, we are now on a path forward towards filing in the US.
Can you explain in very sort of layman terms for those of us who don't understand? At some point, you must be saying to yourself, this isn't working, but actually we're not sure, maybe we did this wrong. What was what actually happened? You're in the room, somebody comes, just tell us the story of how this happened.
The story is pretty simple, is that we did the pre-specified futility analysis based on a smaller data set. And what we learned at posteriori is that the patients were not exposed enough to high dose of Aducanumab. Then by the time we communicate and we had blinded data of a larger data set, we started to have some hope. And we consulted with scientific leaders and with the FDA with the first Type C meeting mid-June. And following, crossing all the bars of the T's, dotted the I's with the FDA, leading to a second Type C the day before yesterday with a path forward towards filing for regulatory approval in the US.
But the problem was they didn't have enough, the dosage wasn't high enough? That was
correct. Correct. It has to be sufficient and sustained dose of high dose of Aducanumab to remove the plaque. Therefore, the hypothesis is confirmed.
Tell us more about your interactions, if you can, with the FDA. You said that they indicated it was reasonable to go forward with the filing based on the data you have now. Do you anticipate that you'll be able to get approval with just these data? And then will that be enough to convince insurance companies to pay for what will likely be a fairly expensive drug?
It was a thorough engagement with the FDA over months. And the evidence came over time. We collected tremendous and complex set of data, including biomarkers and imaging. And the FDA dedicated a lot of quality time to engage with us so that we come to the second meeting. It was not just a corridor talk where you can try your chance and go for file. This was a thorough engagement. Right. And as a CEO, I'm reasonably confident that this can lead to a market approval one day.
They say try everything. They say, you know, turn in the results, we'll give you an answer, but it does, there's in this, there's no implicit recommendation from the FDA that they're going to okay this at this point.
Well, the FDA
They'll look at everything, right? They'll look at everything and say, yeah, go ahead, file, and then we'll let you know. But is it 50-50 or you think it's more than, but you're the CEO?
By the way, since the beginning of the process, the FDA has the entire data set from the studies. The entire so the data we have, they have.
Good
so
and
we
bad.
worked in full transparency with the regulator. Now we have to respect the process, obviously. And concerning and the most important is that based on this data and this work, the FDA is encouraging us to redose the patients from the 2 studies. What a sign.
And we talked with one of those patients yesterday who was in the trial, thought the drug was helping him, then had to stop in March. He's elated that he gets to potentially go back on the drug.
60 million people a year globally, that's per year?
Yeah, very unfortunately.
70 to 80% of dementia is Alzheimer's.
Yep.
And since we started the discussion, 5 or 6 patients were diagnosed in this country. And mild cognitive impairment with early mild Alzheimer is 10 million patients in the US only.
Right. So give me a pie-in-the-sky market cap potential for a drug. It could be $100 billion, couldn't it? If you had something that worked for Alzheimer's, what could it be?
You will understand that I will not discuss the stock.
What would it be, Meg?
I will not discuss the stock.
What could the market potential be for an Alzheimer's drug?
Well, for an Alzheimer's, you have to. There's a spectrum of how well things potentially work, and that's a question actually I want to ask Michelle, which is, the data are not obviously straightforward. And so if you get on the market, there could be questions from insurers about who should be covered for this drug, who should get the drug. I think pretty much anybody with Alzheimer's will want a drug that's been shown to help, but it's not a cure. So do you need more data to convince insurers to potentially pay for this?
For the time being, the only trial that we plan to do is to redose the patients, if it is a trial. So we'll redose the patients. This is what we are planning. And we are confident that with the data that we communicated, including the 40% improvement versus placebo on the activities of daily living, but think what it means for the patients, for the caregivers, the ability to get out of the home on oneself, the ability to eat alone, the ability to dress up alone, to take care of their own finances. This is tremendous.